Welcome to the series we are doing on how to keep ourselves buoyant during this COVID crisis. We have been getting a lot of messages from people saying whatever is the nitty-gritty, whatever we need to do, we are doing it all. But what should we do to keep ourselves in balance and to keep our spirits high? So with that in mind, we are running these short series where each time we will teach you one or two simple techniques to help you, and those which you can do for yourself in just a few minutes. So we'll start first with Katarzyna, who's going to lead us through a violet light meditation. This is a very powerful meditation. I have been doing it for a while, and it's very effective, and I just love how she teaches it. So Katarzyna, over to you.
Thank you so much. This technique comes from an ancient times when people used to use the light to protect themselves, to heal themselves. These days, you can see that this ultraviolet light is being used in the shops or at the dentists or at the hospitals to sanitize, to cleanse the utensils, cleanse the tools that are being used, or cleanse even the environment with this beautiful, wonderful flame. It's a very quick technique. You can do it without 2 minutes time. You don't need any special tools. You just need your imagination, and you just need a little bit of a space where you can ground yourself. And let's do that together. So what you need to do is just to close your eyes and take a deep breath in and a breath out. Once again, breathe in and breathe out. And just imagine that there is a beautiful ultraviolet color light just coming from the top, going down to your entire body, wrapping you with this beautiful ultraviolet color light. And it's covering your entire head, your face, your neck, your shoulders, down through your hands to the tip of your fingers, moving on your chest, your back, your abdomen, your hips, your thighs, down to your knees, to the tip of your toes. So it's like a dupatta, like a jacket, like a cloak, a robe that is wrapping your entire body with this wonderful ultraviolet colored light. And you can even sense a zip, that you are just zipping it, starting from the bottom up to the top, and you put a hood on your head, so your entire body is just protected with this beautiful light. And you are safe. And you are surrounded by this light that is wonderfully cleansing your body from any viruses, from any bacteria, from any germs. And this light is also connected to our crown chakra, for those who know about chakras, and to our third eye. So you can also imagine that this beautiful light is cleansing any thoughts of fear, any anxiety, any worry. Beautiful. And whenever you feel that you're ready, you can just take a deep breath in again and breathe out. Once again, breathe in and breathe out, and you can open your eyes and you can go back to your daily activities.
This was a wonderful meditation. And we can do this at any time, right?
That can be done at any time. The best is to start doing it early from the morning when you wake up your eyes, before you put your feet on the ground, before you put your feet into your slippers. You just do a quick visualization of wrapping yourself with this light. And every time you are about, if you are a caregiver, every time you're about to go and see the person who's been infected by the virus, you wrap yourself with this light. You just wash yourself with this light. And every time you leave the room, you go into the washroom and you wash your clothes, you wash your body, you also can use this visualization and imagine that the water with this beautiful ultraviolet light is also cleansing your body, putting like additional layer of protection around you.
So from what I understand, we do this as a meditation at the times when we have maybe 2-3 minutes. And otherwise, through the day, we are using it almost like a laser, covering ourselves with it, right?
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah. And we can also cover our family with it.
Yes, and to do that, what works really, really beautiful, you just wrap the palms of your hands and you just imagine that here from this part of your palms, so the light is coming down through you and it's going through your hands, and you just imagine that this light from your hands is wrapping the person that you are caring for, or even because it all works with, it's all the energy works. So we just, even if the person is in the hospital and you are not close to that person, you can also imagine that this light is wrapping the person who is in the hospital and who needs this extra additional layer of safety, of protection, of care.
So that's wonderful. We can wrap our loved ones in it. We can wrap the babies in the house in it, and we can all feel secure.
Yes.
That's really, really wonderful.
Yes, and you can also imagine that you just wrap even the water that you drink every day to even more safety and protection.
So, so with this violet light all around us, now let us learn one more way to protect ourselves. So what I'll be teaching you today, what I'll be focusing on, is to teach you a few points where when anxiety is rising, when fear is rising, you can do something, actually do something to get it to deflate it, to make it diffuse it, to make it go down, and perhaps even disappear. So first, I'm going to teach you just a single point. So this single point in tapping, it's your emergency point or your SOS point. As you find these kind of thoughts coming up, you simply take your hands to this point. I'm going to show you this point very, very clearly. So here's the point. You need to understand this point. So, you know, we all have this collarbone, all right? So this collarbone, we have 2 points here. Now, if we put our 2 fingers on it and we slide it down roughly about an inch. If you go slowly, you will find your fingers stop here. Okay? So just stop here, and these are your points. So the points are not at the collarbone. They are below the collarbone, roughly about an inch or so, inch and a half below. You'll find after a while, you'll find you automatically stop there. Now, both these have to be tapped together. So in order to do that, either you can do it with both hands. So you do it like this. Or if you want to use one hand, then you make your 2 fingers into a U shape like this, and then you tap here. So the one thing you need to avoid doing is to do it with your 4 fingers like this. The reason for it is because they very rarely will they stay completely straight. They tend to go like this, and then you will be tapping on your sternum and not on the points. So either use 2 hands or do this. Okay. 10 seconds, stop, take a deep breath, drink a little water, and tap again for 10 seconds. Okay, so drink water, take a deep breath, and tap again for 10 seconds. So every time the anxiety comes, you find yourself going, oh my God, what do I do now? What do I do now? Just go to these points and start tapping, and you're just doing it for 10 seconds. Okay. Take a deep breath, drink some more water, and do it a second time. Now, once you start calming down, you will become aware of the actual thoughts that are running through your head. So these thoughts could be, I hope the fever will come down. If we need a hospital, will we get one? Will the doctor respond? I hope the other members won't get it. What will we do if others get it? So all these will be your thoughts. Now, in EFT, in tapping, the one very important thing is that we need to do it for one thing at a time. So if you have various thoughts playing through your head, take them one at a time. And now I am going to teach you the shortcut with this, because now that you have calmed down, you can do the shortcut. So when you take these points, you can also, if you don't want to do the shortcut that I'm teaching, you can also take each point and just tap on a single point. It will work, but to do the 5 points will be far more effective. So let us go with that and let me teach it to you. So to do the tapping shortcut, you need first to come to this part of your hand, which is called the karate chop. And we all know why, because that's what is used for karate. So here we tap here and we will say, although I am concerned that my son's fever is not going down, and I don't know, what that means, I love, accept, and forgive myself. Although I'm concerned that other members of so these are just examples, but you will take one. So, my son's fever is not going down could be an example. Whether the doctor will respond to me in time could be an example. Whether we'll all recover could be an example. So whatever it is, you take one thing and you tap here and you repeat it twice. You repeat it in your own way. You can repeat it in your own language. The thought is, even though I have anxiety about this thing, I love, accept, and forgive myself completely. Having said that, we start the tapping. Now, the tapping is 5 points. It's the crown of the head, under the eye. It can be any eye. You can do both eyes also. You can do it with both hands like this, under the eye, the collarbone point. I'll come back to these points, so don't panic that you can't remember them. The wrist point and the karate chop. So these are 5 points. How will you remember them? This point you already know. The karate chop I told you to start with, so already you have done it. So now you have only 3 more points to remember. It's very easy. We start from the top. So here's the top. So we start from the top. That's your first point. As I said, you can do it with one hand. You can do it with both hands. Left, right, makes no difference. So you start here. And when you start here, you have to mention, it's called a reminder phrase, my anxiety about my son's fever. My anxiety about the fever. My anxiety. My anxiety about my son's fever. My anxiety. And you do this twice. My anxiety about my son's fever. I'm really worried about the fever. I really hope it comes down. If it doesn't, I don't know what it means. My anxiety. And then you finish here. So if you count it like that, it's 11 points, 5 and 5, and then you finish here. So that makes it 11 points. You take a couple of deep breaths. You also take breaths while you're doing it. You take a couple of deep breaths. You drink some water. And you assess the level of your anxiety. Perhaps earlier on a scale of 0 to 10, it may have been at 8. Maybe now it's come down to 7 or 4. And you do this process once more. So you're doing it twice. After you've done it twice, you've had water, you've taken a deep breath, you leave it. In the next half an hour, it will continue to come down. And once you have done one statement, then you can do the other statement that you have, which is concerning you, the third, the fourth, as many as they may be, also depending on how much time you have. So I'm repeating once more. This point is your SOS or your emergency point. It lowers your levels of anxiety, it diffuses it, and it helps you to think with clarity. Once you have done that, you find yourself, you're calm enough, you have some time during the day, which is when I'm saying sometime, I need you to have only 5 minutes, when you can say, okay, let me think on this for a bit. So I often tell people if they don't have time, they can do it when they're sitting on the pot, okay, because there we have time. All right. So then you think, okay, what is the primary thing that is concerning me? What is really worrying me? You think of that thing, come to your karate chop, state it in your own way, in your own language, making sure that it includes these three things: that you love yourself, accept yourself, and you forgive yourself. You're forgiving yourself for the distress you are causing yourself. Okay? So you say these three. So even though I'm concerned whether we will manage to get oxygen should we need it, I love, accept, and forgive myself. You say this twice, and then you say, my concern about oxygen. Will we get the oxygen? It's like you're talking to yourself. I hope we get the oxygen. If we don't get the oxygen, I don't know. My concerns about the oxygen. There's your deep breath. My concerns about the oxygen. I hope we'll get the oxygen should we need it. I'm sure we will. I have some concerns about this. You can see already the intensity in my voice has changed, and I have not done this intentionally. It's happened on its own. My concern about the oxygen. And then you tap here. Having done that, make sure you take 2 deep breaths, drink 2 sips of water, which you continue to do through the day. And I'm confident your levels of anxiety will come down. Now, as we are doing this, I would like to leave you on a much lighter note. So when I do the tapping for myself, because also we've been told that, we should do some humming and we should do what is called Bhramri. It's a yoga breathing technique where you have to hum with your eyes closed and your ears closed. So I kind of integrate it. I let my chest speak to me. I want to hear what it wants to say to me. So with these same fingers, very lightly, I start tapping just over my chest. Making whatever sounds will come. I do this for about 30, 40 seconds, and then I will tap and reassure myself that all is well. And I'm tapping actually to activate the points, but while I'm doing it, all is well, all is well, all is well, all is well. Be grounded, be at peace, be in balance. So, my friends, cover yourself with the violet light. Tap yourself into balance. Tap yourself out of fear. Tap yourself out of anxiety. Until we meet again, I wish you power. I wish you empowerment. Thank you so much.